Hello and welcome. Today's practice is a gentle flow for joints and back. So if you have any props that you like to use, bolsters, blankets, blocks, straps, just have them handy. You may or may not need them for this practice. There will be a little bit of standing, mostly on the mat. So we'll get started in our comfortable seat. You can take Sukhasana like this or any other posture that feels comfortable for you to start off in. And allow the crown to lift, the shoulders to drop. Bring awareness to the spine. Feel like you can close the eyes and just feel that connection of earth beneath you and sky above you. Just feeling the breath. Check in with the physical body. Notice how the body is feeling today, recognizing any places that are asking for your attention or special care, any places that have pain, strain, illness, injury, and resolve to take care of your physical body as you move through your practice today. Even though it's a fairly gentle practice, there might be some things that might not be appropriate for you today. So checking in with the physical body, just noticing how you're feeling, and check in with the mood or emotional state. Notice the mood of the day. Here it is midwinter, fairly cloudy, getting colder, and that might or might not be affecting your mood. So just observing how the mood is today without judging or trying to change it necessarily, just observe. And then checking in with the mental state and just recognizing where the thoughts have been today. Where has the mind been? Past, future, planning, remembering, or are you in the present moment? And just observing the quality of mind today. And then finally, the energetic state. And this is generally reflected in the breath. So you might bring your awareness to your breath. Notice if the breath is deep or shallow, if it's smooth or rough, fast or slow. And again, no judgment, just observing, noticing how the breath reflects your energetic state. And we'll start by setting an intention for the practice if you'd like. Just take a moment to think about what it is you are cultivating in your life. It can be something for the practice, it could be something for the day, or a longer time frame. Just bringing to mind whatever it is that you are cultivating. Maybe bring a word, a phrase, or image to that. And feel as though you're planting that intention into your heart. And now we'll start our even inhale and exhale. So breathing in through the nose, feeling the belly expand, the chest and ribs expand in all directions. Exhaling out the nose, feeling that contraction in the navel, the pelvic floor as you exhale. And just find your smooth wheel of inhale and exhale. Maybe eventually arriving at a 4 or 5 count inhale, 4 or 5 count exhale. And on your next exhale, drop the chin to the chest. Feel the heaviness of the head releasing down. And on your inhale, reach your arms up, gaze up, head lifts. And exhale, arms come back down. You can do this from any seated posture you like. If you're not in Sukhasana, you can do it from Virasana. You can do it from full lotus. We're just getting that movement in the upper and back and neck. Feel as though the hands are moving through honey as you rise up, come back down, and your fingertips as though they're reaching to the outer edges of a sphere that you are enclosed in. So you're really finding that expansion through the fingers, the wrists, the hands. A couple more breaths like this. And then we'll bring the hands back down, just feeling that length in the spine and just noticing already any changes in sensation in the spine, the upper back. And we'll interlace the fingers and press the palms up and away, bringing the upper arms a little behind the ears. As you gaze up, and then exhale, release. And then interlace fingers the other way. Press palms up, gaze up. Release, and we'll do that a couple more times with the breath, alternating the way that you've crossed your fingers each time. So bringing intention to how your body is moving through this. We'll do one more, and then we'll stay here and breathe, gazing up, feeling the earth beneath you, rooting down through the sits bones, lengthening on the inhale. Drop the shoulders down so that they're not creeping up by the ears. A couple more breaths. And on your next exhale, release arms down. And now we'll just sweep arms all the way up again. And we'll twist to the right. So bringing that left hand to right knee and right hand behind you. So you're twisting from the navel, and actually bring the head to neutral so that you're really initiating the twist from down in the lower spine rather than up in the head and neck. So as you're moving that torso to the right, the head is just staying neutral. And then we'll eventually look over that right shoulder for a couple breaths. Staying nice and tall and drawing the navel in with every exhale. One more breath here. Then we'll inhale back to center, sweep arms up. Exhale to the other side. Again, torso twisting, but head neutral. Continue to twist from the navel to the left, staying with even breath. And then eventually turning the head to the left, staying with the breath. Feeling the navel move in and pelvic floor lift with every exhale. Helping accentuate that twist a little more as you hold the breath out for just a second. And a couple more breaths like that. And inhale back to center, arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart. So now we'll bring the arms out, reaching in opposite directions. And we're just going to twist. So right hand goes up, left hand, top of the hand goes down. So we're just going to twist kind of opposite. And then we'll move our torso with this. So next time your left wrist goes up, we'll reach in that direction. And then we'll reach the other direction as the other hand goes up. So just flowing with the breath. You can take the inhale on one side and the exhale on the other side. If you're wringing out the arms. And a couple more breaths like that. And then you can come to neutral and shake out the wrists. We'll bring the hands back down and drop the chin to the chest. Inhale, tilt the head up. And exhale, drop it down. So keeping the head back in line with the spine as you move the head up and down, almost like you're drawing the chin back, like you're creating a double chin, trying to, as if you were against a wall and the back of your head was touching the wall. So keeping the head back in that position as you flow up and down. One more breath like that. And then we'll come to neutral and then turn to look over left shoulder and then turn right. Just flowing with the breath. And one more breath like that. And then we'll come back to neutral. And then this time, drop your left ear to left shoulder and bring that left hand to the floor next to you. And just feeling that release of the head down toward the earth. And now if you can, with your right hand, bring it behind the back. Maybe you can get that left arm Continue to drop the head, keep the spine nice and tall, even breath. One more breath here. And then back up. And that one doesn't look like much, but hopefully you can feel that in the muscles of the neck here. Now, right hand down. Drop ear to the right. Let the head be heavy. Smooth breath. If you want, you can bring that left hand around to get that arm just to kind of ground you and root you down. Feel that connection to the earth as you breathe here. And a couple more breaths. Back up. All right, so now we're going to, we'll do one more seated Garudasana arms. So this is eagle arms. So if you bring your arms out and then bend the elbows and place the right elbow inside the left. So on top of. You can bring the backs of the hands together. Now you can do it from here, or if you have more flexibility, you could maybe bring the palms of the hands together. And if the palms of the hands are together, you can kind of increase that a little more by twisting, bringing your right thumb kind of across toward the left side of the body. So you're going from right to left with that thumb. So you should be feeling a little opening between the shoulder blades here, but we'll lift the arms up. Inhale. And exhale, we'll bring the elbows kind of down toward the navel. So inhale, lift. And exhale, navel moves in. You can move the head up and down with this too if you like. Couple more breaths. We'll do one more. And then we'll release, shake it out a little, and we'll set up the other side. So bend the elbows, left elbow goes on top, backs of the hands together, or bring the palms together. And if you want, you can maybe accentuate the twist there by bringing the left thumb across toward the right. So first feeling that opening through the shoulder blades, staying grounded through the sits bones. We'll inhale and lift the arms. Exhale and bring the arms down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Breathing into that upper back. Feeling the space that you're creating there for the lungs to expand on the inhale. And we'll do one more breath like that. Release and shake out. And then we'll come to all fours. Coming tabletop, knees under hips, fingers spread wide, thumbs pointing toward each other, middle fingers pointing toward the short end of your mat. Just get nice and long. Inhale, lengthen, spread the collarbones, gaze straight ahead. Exhale, drop back, hips to heels, chest to thighs, forehead down. Inhale, reverse, sliding forward, lengthen the spine, spread the collarbones, gaze straight ahead, and exhale back. So we're flowing with the breath. Apanasana. Just getting some movement into the hips now, the lower back. I'm doing about 3 more of these. And then we'll meet back up in all fours after your next inhale. And we're going to come from a kind of a neutral all fours and lift the right leg so that the knee is bent and you can flex that foot. And as you exhale, we'll just bring the knee in. You can drop the head to the knee. And then inhale, we'll bring it back up. And exhale in. So just flowing with the breath there, keeping the weight even in both hands. Lifting the head and neck as you inhale and rounding the spine as you exhale. We'll do 2 more like that. Then after your next one, just release the knee down, press back to an extended child's pose just for a breath or 2. And then we'll inhale back up to all 4s. Find your neutral spine. Left leg comes up, flex that foot. As you exhale, knee to head to knee, round the spine, and inhale back up, head comes up. So flowing with the breath here. And a couple more breaths. And then after your last one of that, again, drop back, child's pose. Just a couple breaths. And then back up to our neutral spine. This time we'll reach the right arm out long in line with the head and neck and keep the gaze down toward the mat so the neck is neutral but head's looking down. Left foot reaches back, flex the foot, roll out the ankle and hand, ankle and wrist a little bit. Then find stillness here. So reaching strongly through right fingertips and left heel and pressing into that left hand so you're not dropping down into that shoulder, but you're really nice and strong there. Feel the navel moving in with every exhale. Filling up in all directions on every inhale. Feel the crown of the head reaching away from that left heel. 2 more breaths here. And at the end of your next exhale, we'll bring the hand and knee back down. Again, back to child's pose for a breath or 2. On an inhale, come back up. Lengthen. Left arm comes out, right leg back, mirroring what we did on the other side. So rolling out wrist and the ankle a little bit. And then finding your stillness, reaching strongly, pressing into that right hand. Back of the neck long, even breath. Two more breaths here. And then release back. Press back, child's pose. Couple breaths. And then we'll come back up to all 4s. And now step your right foot up to your hands so that you're on that back knee. Right foot is forward. We'll come up onto that knee. So let's bring your right hand to right hip and left arm reaches up. So opposite arm that's bent. And lift here, gaze up and open up through the rib cage. Looking up at those fingertips and reaching the fingertips really strongly up toward the ceiling while grounding down through that right heel. A few more breaths. And then release, down, left hand comes down, right arm reaches up toward the ceiling so that you're in a twist here, looking up at that right hand, twisting from the navel. Easing up if it feels okay in the neck, or you can alternate looking down on the exhale and looking up on the inhale if you like a little movement for the neck. One more breath here. We'll release the right hand down. Curl the left toes under and come up onto the ball of that foot so the knee is off the floor. And we'll just take a couple of breaths here. You can bring both palms down onto the floor. Opening up through the hip flexor now. And then we'll twist from here. So keeping the left hand grounded, right arm comes up again. Pressing into that left heel so you're nice and firm in the lower half of the body. Couple more breaths. And then release the right hand down. Drop to the knee. We'll come back to child's pose again. Drop the hips to heels, chest to thighs, forehead down. And when you're ready, inhaling back to all fours. Left foot steps up. Come up. This time, left hand on hip, right arm up. Lengthen and lift. Grounding through the left heel, but reaching through the right fingertips. And creating length in the spine. You might even get a little back bend here, but not crunching into the back, but lifting the heart toward the sky. Couple more breaths here. And then we'll drop that right hand down. Left arm comes up for our twist. Again, if you want, you can look down on the exhale and up on the inhale. Couple more breaths. And then release that left hand down so both palms are down. Curl the right toes, straighten that leg. And stay here for a few breaths. This low lunge. And then eventually lifting that left arm up. Pressing into the right heel a little more, twisting at the navel, gazing up. Feeling strength in the legs here. Openness in the upper chest and upper back. Even breath. One more breath, and then we'll release. Back to our child's pose. Inhale all the way up to fours. Exhale back, hips to heels, chest to thighs, forehead down. And a couple more like that. Apanasana to reset after our twist. All right, and then our next one, we're going to go from all fours. We're going to drop to the elbows. So elbows and wrists are the same distance apart. And our knees are right under our hips, or our hips are over our knees. And then we're going to walk the hands forward, coming down. So you're bringing the chest, the heart down to the floor, keeping the hips over the knees and gazing straight ahead. So coming down as far as is comfortable for you. Staying with that breath. Couple more breaths here. And then we'll gently come back. Actually, let's come to Sphinx from here. So we'll slide forward. So now elbows are under the shoulders, palms down, collarbones wide, and pressing the tops of the feet into the floor. Lengthen through the spine, open through the heart. gazing straight ahead at an imaginary horizon. And keep that effort pressing down through the forearms, almost as though you're trying to drag your body forward, lengthening a little more, opening up a little more in the spine. Couple more breaths here in Sphinx. And then we'll release all the way down, forehead down. And then bring your hands back into Cobra position. So right next to the rib cage, fairly far back, squeeze elbows toward each other. And we'll lengthen and lift into Cobra. And then we'll exhale and release down, turning the head to one side, but keeping the elbows moving toward each other. Lengthen and lift. Inhale. Exhale. Turn head to other side. Again. Turn head. Two more breaths like that. And then after your next inhale, we'll stay up in our Cobra. I'm just going to move side to side, like you are that Cobra. So moving from the head, chest, finding some little spinal movements, some undulations here, back and forth a little bit. And then pressing all the way back to child's pose one more time. Couple breaths. And we'll meet back up in all fours. Now we're going to turn the hands the opposite direction. So depending on how your wrists are, if they have openness and flexibility, we'll just start by turning the fingers out to the edges of the mat. So they're pointed out to the sides and the thumbs are pointed forward. Just see how that feels. Keep the collarbones wide, back of the neck long, gaze down at your mat. And if that feels okay and you want to go further, you can turn the hands even more so that the fingers are pointing toward you and the thumbs are pointing out toward the outer sides of your mat. So this is a fairly deep wrist stretch. And again, if this doesn't feel good, you can bring the hands back at a better angle that works for you, but you're still getting a little opening in the wrists. So we'll come back to our breath awareness here. Matching inhale to exhale, 4 or 5 count inhale, 4 or 5 count exhale. Couple more breaths. All right, and then we'll shake them out one at a time, kind of release that. And we'll come up into downward facing dog. So curling your toes under, pressing the hips back. Just take a breath or two in down dog. And then we'll step the feet up, coming into our forward fold. And feel free to bend the knees as much as you like here. So what we're going to do, we're going to go in and out of the forward fold with arms extended. So we're going to reach the arms forward from here and initiating from the upper back, kind of getting a little back bend as you inhale and lift up. And if you like, you can extend the legs all the way as you come up to the top of this. And then exhale, we're going to come back down, arms extended. And a little bend in the knees again, if you like, when you come down. So inhale all the way up. And exhale, navel moves in as you slowly and with control come all the way down. Continuing with the breath. And we'll do one more after this one. Coming up and back down. And one last time, lift up and hands to heart. I'm just taking a moment here to bring awareness back to the breath. Maybe if your hands are at your heart and your thumbs are at your sternum, you can feel the heartbeat. Remind yourself of the intention that you planted in your heart. And then we'll step the left foot back. So both legs are straight and we're kind of in this warrior one stance. We'll start with arms at the sides. And this is going to be a flow, and it'll go like this. On the inhale, the arms will rise, coming upper arms roughly right behind ears. Lengthen the spine as you exhale over the straight leg. Everything comes down. And then we'll bend that right knee and come back up. Arms come up. And then we'll straighten that leg and arms come down. So we'll do it now as a flow. Inhale, arms up with right leg straight. Exhale, reach and fold. Inhale, bend that right knee, arms come back up. Exhale, straighten the leg and arms come down. So flowing with your breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold over straight leg. Bend the knee, rise up. Exhale down. And do one more like that. Keeping the awareness into the outside edge of the left foot as you ground down there. Staying rooted into the back of the body. And then the next time you come back to starting position with arms down, we can all meet back in Samasthiti, hands at heart center, feet hip width apart. Again, feeling the heartbeat. If you like, you can close the eyes for a moment and just feel your connection to the earth, the length of the spine. Maybe you feel a little taller already. Smooth out the breath. Now we'll step that right foot back, mirroring what we did on the other side. So starting with arms at your sides. We'll inhale, arms up. Lengthen and fold over the straight leg. Bend the knee, rise up, inhale. And exhale, arms come down. And flowing with the breath. Taking your time. Try not to hyperextend that leg. When you come down over it, you can keep a little bend in the knee if that feels more appropriate for you. We'll do 2 more rounds of this. And then we'll come back to our Samasthiti. So standing pose, hands at heart. We'll bring our feet about mat width apart. Inhale, arms up, and we'll exhale down into a squat. So dropping the hips all the way down. You can either leave hands at heart, or you can bring hands in front of you, palms up, and let the head release down. So really feeling gravity working its way on the tail, all the way through the spine. Feeling that pleasant heaviness in the body as you lengthen down toward the earth. Just a couple more breaths here, wherever you are in your squat. And then we'll interlace the fingers, press the palms up, and rise back up. The back bend, and then release the arms. So now we're going to turn on the long side of the mat. We'll bring legs wide. If you have a block, it might be handy here, kind of in front and center. But we're going to start with hands at hips. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and then hinge at the creases of the hips as you fold. And bring hands down to the floor. Inhale, half lift, lengthen, exhale, fold. A couple more times like that. And as you're moving through this, ground down through the feet and feel the thighs spiraling toward each other. So by doing that, the thighs go in, it sort of spreads out the pelvis a little, the sits bones. It also keeps you a little better rooted into the stable feeling of this. Okay, one more like that. And then we'll come all the way up with arms out. And we'll move into our twist. So this one now, as you exhale, twist from the navel and right hand comes down. So this is where my block is here for. You don't need a block, but it does help bring the floor up. And then inhale back up. Twisting to the other side, left hand comes down. So as you twist, you exhale, head can look up. Inhale brings you up, and just alternating sides. We'll do one more on each side. Keep feeling the thighs spiraling toward each other. And you can release. Move your block aside, and we'll come back to the front of the mat. Feet hip width apart. And bring the arms out about shoulder height, palms up. And we'll come down, coming down into a squat this way with knees and feet a little closer than before. Just as far as you can with control. Maybe you can come all the way down with control. Maybe you can come halfway, and then we'll come to seated. And come onto the back. Bring the feet a little wider and just let the knees fall together to touch. Releasing here, a little resting. Reconnect with your breath. And just a couple more breaths there in that resting pose. And then we'll bring the knees up so that shins are parallel to the ceiling. On the inhale, arms extend overhead and legs extend up toward the ceiling. And then the exhale, everything comes back down. Inhale, extend. And exhale, bend. Do two more like this. And then we're going to bring the feet down to the floor. About hip width apart, arms at your sides. And we're going to gently roll up into a bridge. So peeling the tail up, inhale, come up. Exhale, roll back down. And now we're going to add in the arms with that. So this time as you peel up, hips rise, right arm arcs all the way up overhead and head turns to the left. Exhale, reverse it, bringing arm down and head to center, hips come down. Inhale, left arm, head looks right. Exhale, reverse. So continuing like that with your breath, alternating sides, head looks opposite the arm that's coming up. We'll do even amount on both sides. So the next time the left arm comes up, that will be the last one. And then we'll do both arms together. So walk the heels in a little more if they're not in fingertip distance. We'll press into the soles of the feet, peel up the spine, arms arc up and overhead, and we'll stay. Feeling the hips rise a little more, press into the feet. Maybe relax the glutes a little. Feel the chin moving into that little notch of the throat. As the heart rises a little more, keeping the knees in line with the heels. A couple more breaths. And then we'll gently roll back down, arms come down. Give the knees a little hug. All right, we'll come up to seated. And come into Dandasana. So legs extend. Feet are active. Legs are active. And you can have a little bend in the knees if you like. In fact, I encourage it. So we'll start by bringing the arms up. Again, same arm position that we've been doing most of this with the arms just slightly behind the ears. Collarbones wide and shoulders dropped away from the ears. So inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, chin comes into that little notch as you come forward. And then inhale back up, finding that little back bend. So this is kind of like what we were doing with at the beginning with the forward fold with arms extended, only we're just changing the position here. So with every inhale, you find that little upper back bend and lift up from the heart. Every exhale, chin tucks in, lengthen. And just a few more breaths like this. We'll do two more. And on your last one, we'll stay. So bring hands to the floor. Put a little more bend in the knees if you want. You can also put something under the knees to kind of make it a little more of a resting, easeful pose. And just allow everything to kind of round down and release toward the earth. Letting go of muscular effort and just feeling the opening of the connective tissue here, allowing the joints to just release. And we'll slowly roll up. Anything that's under the legs, or you can leave it there actually for Shavasana. You might want to leave it there. We'll come down into Shavasana. So if you like something under the knees, if you like something under the head and neck, get comfortable. We'll be in our Shavasana for maybe 3 or 4 minutes today. And once you arrive in your Shavasana, nice big inhale and then an exhale out the mouth. Let go of any control of the breath. Let go of any muscular effort, signaling to the body that it's time to release. Just feel yourself being breathed in and out through no effort of your own. Bringing awareness to the fingertips and the toes. Feeling a deep release in the little muscles of the fingers and the toes. Letting go of any effort there. And feel that release moving into the palms and backs of the hands. Tops and soles of the feet. The ankles and wrists. Hands and feet heavy. Feel that release moving into the lower arms and lower legs, the knee and elbow joints, releasing all the muscles in the arms and legs, letting go of any effort, feeling that release, the shoulders, the armpits, the hips and pelvis. Feeling that release moving into the sacrum, the lower back, soften the belly, the upper chest, shoulders, all the way into the center, feeling the whole rib cage releasing the back of the neck, the base of the throat. Unclench the teeth. Feel the tongue flatten onto the bottom of the mouth. Softening the little muscles of the face, the cheeks, the eyes, the temples, forehead, and scalp. Allow yourself to rest in relaxed awareness. All you have to do is nothing. Noticing the subtle vibration, the energetic body, that state of awareness within you that you might not always be in touch with because it's clouded by your physical movements and all of the external stimulus. Just notice that energetic state. Notice how it feels. Allow the breath to deepen a little. Let the thumb brush across the tips of the fingers. And we'll gently stretch the arms long overhead, full body stretch. And when you're ready, give the knees a little hug. You can roll to a side if you like, taking fetal position. And we'll come back to our comfortable seat, preparing for our pranayama to close our practice. So once you arrive, feel that dignified posture, head over the heart. Feeling the sits bones connected to the earth and the crown of the head lifting. And this pranayama practice is called samavriti, which is equal breath. And we're going to work up to equal breath. So we're going to start out breathing in and out. We're going to breathe in and out through the nose the whole time. So empty all the air out. And we'll inhale for a count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And exhale for a count of 2. 1, 2. And then inhale for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll continue like that. Inhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And continue that on your own, counting to 8. And if 8 feels like it's a little too long, you can shorten it. We just want to match inhale to exhale, but fairly long. So it's not just your normal short breath. We'll do a couple more rounds like that. Make sure you're breathing all the way into the bottom of the capacity of the lungs. The belly moves out with the inhale, fills you up. And then navel moves in with the exhale. All right, so now we're going to work our way back down. So next time, inhale for 8. And exhale for 6. Inhale for 8. And exhale for 4. Inhale for 8. Exhale for 2. And then we can return to normal breath. And as you rest there, feeling your normal breath, we'll close with a poem from one of my favorite books, Anamkara, John O'Donohue. But the poem is actually from a Scottish poet, Norman MacCaig. This is called Presence. Presents. I give you an emptiness. I give you a plentitude. Unwrap them carefully. One's as fragile as the other. And when you thank me, I'll pretend not to notice the doubt in your voice when you say they're just what you wanted. Put them on the table by your bed. When you wake in the morning, they'll have gone through the door of sleep into your head. Wherever you go, they'll go with you. And wherever you are, you'll wonder, smiling about the fullness you can't add to and the emptiness that you can fill. So thank you for joining me today. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.